drawing. Assuming we want to use a bar magnet. So this is a south pole, north pole. You see that these are iron, steel materials attracting themselves to read. Also attracting themselves to read at the poles. You can call this iron fillings. So take note, and this is a bar magnet. So with that shows that the two poles of a magnet is the north and the south pole. Laws of magnetism. Laws of magnetism. What are the laws? I'm going to draw this before I illustrate the law for you. The two poles. Repulsion. Okay, we are looking at laws of magnetism. We are going to see how magnet can push and how magnet can pull. I'm going to illustrate this here, or I'm going to explain it here, then we are going to do the illustration. You see yourself that magnet is a force which can push and which can also pull. First, north poles getting in contact with each other, like poles getting in contact with each other. They cannot attract. There's nothing you do for them to attract, but rather they'll repel. So that process is called repulsion. Then coming to this, when the poles are not the same, unlike poles, if you look at it, north and south poles, you see what they will attract. That is, force has attracted them together, and we call it attraction. So in summary, like poles, that is north and north or south and south, repels, while unlike poles attract. We are going to illustrate that briefly. So you are going to listen attentively, look up, and prepare to see very well how they are going to attract and repel. Now, I believe you have seen what is happening here. Let's watch what is happening. Now, I'm going to illustrate something for you. Are you with me? These are my two magnets. Have you seen it? I'm going to illustrate first repulsion. These are like poles. Let's see what will happen if they will attract or they will repel. Watch, observe. Have you seen what is happening? They are not attracting. That is, like poles will not attract. But let's see opposite poles, unlike poles, that is opposite poles. What will happen? This shows that like poles repels and opposite poles attract. So back to this, in summary, like poles repels, unlike poles attract. Magnetic field. Magnetic field. Magnetic field is a region or space a magnetic influence can be felt or detected. When I was carrying out that small experiment for you to see, that region which you saw a force attracting another magnet is called magnetic field. The region you can feel the effect of a magnet is known as magnetic field. If you look at this, since the poles are far from each other, they do not attract because they repel. But joining both of them, you see there's attraction here, while this is repulsion. We want to see ways of making a temporary magnet. Ways of making a temporary magnet. First, by induction. Second, by stroking. I'm going to show you by induction. When once you get back, while you are in the house, you can practice it and you see for real that you can make a magnet, a temporary magnet, which means it will not last long. This is by induction. This is done by placing an unmagnetized material, that is a nail, near or in contact with the poles of a permanent magnet. We are going to see that if you have this is my nail, you can get your own bigger nail, drop it in contact with this for some time. If you drop this for some time, leave it there, bring out a razor blade or any steel material. After some time, remove this and take it close to that razor blade. You see that this nail will be able to attract the razor blade. This shows that you have made a temporary magnet by induction. The next one is by stroking. By stroking, you use your nail, stroke on the magnet several times. Once you do that, you have transferred a magnetic effect to the nail, and it can also magnet. We have other ways of making a temporary magnet, but these are the major ones you need to know. How to demagnetize a magnet. That is how to remove the magnetic effect of a magnet. That is how to also render a magnet powerless. Does not have the force to push and pull. Number one, by heating it to redness. If you heat a magnet for a very long time to redness, the magnetic power is removed. Number two, dropping it from an height several times. Dropping from an height several times. You will keep on dropping a magnet from an height several times. You have reduced the magnetic power of that magnet. The third one here is hammering the magnet. Hammering the magnet. If you do these three, you have reduced the magnetic effect of a magnet. So, how can we care for a magnet so that the magnetic power will not be lost? One, do not drop from an height. Two, do not hit magnet over a flame. And number three, store soft iron bar magnets side by side. Over here, you have interesting assignment. First one, what is magnetism? How was lodestone discovered? List three kinds of magnet. With the aid of diagram, explain the poles and law of magnet. That is, you explain first the poles of magnet and the law of a magnet. Next one, a place influenced by magnet is called what? List two ways of magnetizing and demagnetizing a magnet. Mention two ways you can care for magnet. Do your assignment carefully and send your answers to me. I will give you the feedback.